uShakaIlembe did not hit 1 million views for its debut episode, which is accurate. I mean, like the number that I got was around like 840,000, right?
Yes.
Which is what I expected. I mean, if you remember this, I tweeted that I didn't expect that it would hit 1 million because I was looking at how television is going right now.
It's not really the ideal person as to who could have played Nandi. I feel like she's perfect for the role.
Yeah.
She's actually perfect.
Funny enough, I haven't really been watching a lot of local stuff except outside of Rosemary's Hitlist everywhere because everybody's watching that.
Yeah.
Amazing. But I'm watching things on other platforms. Yeah. So after 2 years, people have been hounding me, hey, bruh. People have been saying, hey, Phil, do a podcast, bruh. You know, you'd be so great doing a podcast. And I've been thinking, that's not my thing. You know, let me just let other kids do what they do best. You know, I'll stick to what I know best, which is just to report on Twitter and all of that. But you know what? After McG interview and after some few trips, I've decided, you know what, let me just give it a try. Look, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So now I had to think, who best to do this with? If I'm going to do a commentary podcast, it has to be with somebody who has a genuine love for the industry like I do. It has to be somebody who understands and who actually consumes the content of television and film and branding in South Africa the way that I do. And I couldn't think of anybody else but you, Master Jabulani.
I appreciate that, actually. I appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah, man. So yeah, we're going to try this. We're going to see where it goes. If we fail, at least we tried.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So let's just tell people about who you are. I mean, they probably know who I am. You know, everybody knows who I am. They know what I do. But a lot of people who don't follow you don't know you. So who's Jabulani?
Jabulani basically is a tweeter. I don't know what they call it. I'm an influencer because I've actually worked on other brands before. I've not only just tweeted about your TV shows and stuff. I mean, I've done alcohol brands, your events and all that stuff. Yeah. So Jabulani basically is a person who's very passionate about TV, who's very passionate about anything he puts his mind to, basically. Yeah. So whether it be TV, whether it be anything that has to do with branding or events or anything of that sort, definitely I'm the guy. But yeah, the biggest thing for me is definitely TV. Yeah.
Cool. So I didn't want this to be an interview. I wanted it to be a conversation, right? But I have to ask you this question because I'm constantly asking myself that, do you actually watch? I mean, who watches all these shows? Like, I've been doing this for quite a long time, right? Yeah. And even when I didn't have other things that I was doing early on, there was no way that I was watching like 8 telenovelas in 1 weekend and committing to all of them. Do you actually genuinely watch all of them?
So the thing is, my family is a TV person.
Oh.
So that's where it started.
Yeah.
So we actually do watch almost all the telenovelas or soapies in South Africa that are actually on TV. So our time is, we know that from 6:30 p.m. Skim Sam, then we move on to ETV, then we move on to your DSTV.
Yeah.
And we just know that the last show that we watch will usually be your Moja Love reality TV, basically.
That I consumed a lot of different, like a variety of content when I had somebody in my house all the time. I live alone. My mama saying Jola one. So you find, and that's how you even discover new shows. You know, like I always say to people, if you live alone, when you've got a visitor, don't hog the remote. Let them use the remote because that's how you're going to discover new shows and discover new things that you might not be interested in. Well, anyway, now that we know who you are, let's talk about the show that everybody's talking about right now. That's on television, the #1 show on DSTV. I got in a bit of it wasn't trouble. I think people don't understand sometimes because when broadcasters are putting out information, sometimes they use the jargon, industry where people don't understand. So I said, uShakaIlembe did not hit 1 million views for its debut episode, which is accurate. I mean, like the number that I got was around like 840,000, right?
Yes.
Which is what I expected. I mean, if you remember this, I tweeted that I didn't expect that it would hit 1 million because I was looking at how television is going right now.
Load shedding and stuff,
load shedding. And I mean, like DSTV as a whole has not hit 1 million in a while. I mean, Gomorrah, which is the #1 show on the platform, has not hit 1 million in a while. So I knew that even if it's good, there was no way that it was going to hit. I mean, and if it did, it was going to be a good thing, right? So DSTV came out and said 3 million viewers, but people didn't understand that 3 million did not mean a single episode. It actually meant a cumulative number of when it aired.
Yeah, I
And they
never
aired
really
3
understood.
times.
I
Yeah.
never really understood the number when they actually mentioned it.
Yeah.
Because I thought to myself, if they're gonna mention 3 point something million, I thought maybe it included the viewership in Africa, because we know that Shaka is not only broadcast in South Africa, it's also part of other African countries who have access to it, basically.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe they had calculated all the numbers in total, because I noticed that when they do advertise it, they state like different times. I know with us, it plays 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Other countries have it at 10 p.m. I don't know, EAT or something like that. Those type of things.
Yeah, okay, cool. Anyway, about that, let's just talk about the show itself. 2 episodes in. What do you think?
It's actually brilliant.
Yeah.
The first episode was just a great way to actually hook the viewers.
Yeah.
I mean, from what they gave us, from the costumes, from the cast, from the cinematography. I'm not sure what are the correct terms to use when it comes to TV.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about look, what I love about you, and that's why I didn't want to do this with somebody who is working in the business.
Mm-hmm.
For me, you represent, the regular television viewer.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of myself when I first got into the industry. I was so eager to learn. I enjoyed the learning process of how things work. I didn't want to be on some, I know this, I know that. You get what I'm saying?
True.
So this is going to be a learning curve for us. We're going to say things here that might not be accurate, and somebody will come and correct us, and that's how we learn. So I want our audience to learn with us, and I want us to learn with our audience. So don't worry about the language of television and all of that. You say it the way that you understand it, because that's how majority of the viewers are understanding it. Right? And the other thing that I want to do is to keep us honest.
Mm-hmm.
We have to say what we don't like about the show and what we like about the show. See, I think that's going to make it fair. So let's start with, what don't you like about the show? And I'll tell you what I don't like.
Let me think. To be honest, I really love it. I really love the show. I feel like there's not really much to criticize it about.
Yeah.
I do feel like it needed like a soundtrack. Like it needed big artists to actually create a soundtrack.
Yeah.
Imagine, because remember with American shows, they always go that route. They find like a prominent artist just to create a soundtrack for the series, just to make it more interesting and actually just create buzz around it with the music and everything else. I do like the music. I do like what they use so far. The only thing that I don't like is just the ads. Episode 2, we actually got to have the ads. Yeah.
They spoiled you guys with episode 1 with no ads, and then they're like, Emma, we still have to make money. What don't I like about it? I think because they've created this big world with how they shot it, with the camera works and the cinematography and the scope, it's so big. What I was a little disappointed on is the fact that their battle scenes are not as big as the world that they've created.
True.
You get what I'm saying? Like, you feel like there's like only like 30 people there, not like a whole 7,000, And I understand in terms of getting something to be that big, you might have to use, what do they call these things?
Extras.
No, not just extras. The computer generated, imagery. But with the budget that they are showing that they had access to, I would have thought if they cannot pay 3,000 people to be on set to shoot a battle scene, then they could have just created that in post-production with all that money, right? I know it's very, 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 very expensive, to use CGI in television. So I'm a little disappointed with that. The battle scenes were a little too close up, it was not like as big as the world that they've created. That's the one thing that I don't like about it. The second thing is, I don't know how long the show is going to be, but I feel like the establishing story is taking too long. I wish we'd have gotten to a point where we see the older Shaka already. You get what I'm saying? Because I worry that if you're only going to see him in episode 4 or 5, and there's only 12 episodes or 10 episodes in the show, then that's going to be a problem. So that's what I don't like about it. Okay?
Yeah,
cool.
I get what you say about the pace of the show.
Yeah.
I think it's actually based on like the first ever one. Remember with the first ever one, it took us time to actually get introduced to the. I'm not sure because I didn't watch all the episodes.
You're still a baby.
I know how it was.
Yeah.
So I remember watching it. We were not really introduced to the older Shaka.
Yeah.
as in like from the get-go.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had to learn as to what happened and how he became the king that he was, basically, with the whole culture and the history that actually took place around the whole love story between Usenzaka Khona and Queen Nandi, basically.
No, I get that. I enjoy that. I get that, and I enjoy it. But also, you need to understand that the audience now has changed. You know, the audience of 10 years ago is not the same audience that we have right now, because we are so used to binge watching. We are so used to let's get there, let's move, you know, kind of thing. So I think maybe because of that, you know, because I'm so used to things moving fast, whatever. When the story takes too long, I think right now when you're establishing a story, for me personally, I feel like one episode is enough. Two is how you, when you say you're stretching it, then move it to two. I kind of like, but I don't know. Look, we're only on the second episode. Hopefully by the third episode, then we'll be getting into 9D and Senzakona actually having that relationship.
Yeah.
You know, because I wish that episode 2 would have been them actually getting into that relationship, because right now we're still dealing with the kingdoms and you know, the issues that they're having and all that stuff, you know, and I'm like, okay, we got it. Can you just get to 9D and get?
Yeah, I get that. I get when you say we need to get to that part when they introduce Shaka. It is gonna take time, definitely. I mean, us as Twitter people or us as viewers, we like using the term dragging. So they're dragging the storyline. So hopefully they do actually introduce the Shaka storyline as soon as possible, so that they can actually still keep the viewers watching the show and actually be entertained.
Right. Let's talk about what we love. You want to go first or should I go first? You go.
Either way.
Yeah, okay. What do you love?
I saw the comments about people saying that Nomzamo Mbatha it's not really their ideal person as to who could have played Nandi. I feel like she's perfect for the role. Yeah. She's actually perfect. I'm not sure based on the trailer as to, is Nandi actually going to grow up? Because from the trailer, it seems like Nandi isn't growing up. Yeah. When she becomes Shaka's mother at like an older age and stuff like that, I'm not sure how they're going to do with that. But what I love so far is the costumes. I love the scenes, everything about it. I mean, from the get-go, they actually introduced us to this. They actually just did an incredible job with the series. The cast definitely, I mean, Wasman Ngube, he's definitely killing the role. Yeah. He's definitely killing the role. I know he's always playing a villain, but this time, I think I'm actually happy with, Yeah,
for me, obviously the cast. The casting has been very, very, very brilliant. I love it. Even the minor roles, you know, you see, here's the thing, you know, when people are doing something because they are all committed to it and there's a love for the project, it comes across on screen. And I feel like everybody who's doing that show has a level of commitment that you don't see in other shows. You know, when an actor enjoys what they're doing, like they just go overboard. I mean, like Thandeka Dawn King is amazing in that. Like I'm loving her. You know, I love the kid that I tweeted about. I think there's something amazing about, you know, I love actors who act with their eyes. That kid acts with his eyes. Like he doesn't have to say words, but just a look, just the camera just on his face tells a million stories. I also love the authenticity that they paid attention to in terms of the sets, in terms of the look as well, because it could have been too glossy. You get what I'm saying? They could have made it too glossy because of, you know, the technology that we have right now. But I feel like they kept it, you know, they kept it crisp enough that it doesn't look too artificial. True. You get what I'm saying? So there's still that raggediness that you need because of the time period and all of that. So I love that. I love how language is used so effortlessly that you forget that they're actually not speaking English. Did you get that? True. That like, you cannot forget. You know, we are so conditioned to believe that if there's a show that is in a language that you're not, you know, of, like I'm a Tswana guy, so I'm not Zulu, obviously. You know, we are so conditioned to kind of like, you know, note that before even getting into the story. But I'm being very honest. When I watched that, the first episode, I actually forgot that they're not using English. They're only using Zulu. And I think that's a testament to a good script writer and a good delivery, you know, because if the actors are doing such a great job that they deliver the lines in such a way that they're not reciting them or they're not, you cannot forget, this is a language that I don't understand, but you are transfixed by the story that you kind of like have to make sure that you understand it in your head. So I love that. So this, for me, are the three things. Next question would be, what do you think connects the show to a wider audience, like even people who are not interested in the Shaka story? Why do you think that this show has resonated with?
I mean, it's a story. It's not like it's a fictional story or anything of that sort. I mean, most of us actually learned about it from a very young age. I don't remember doing much about it in terms of history because I did history in high school.
Yeah.
So I don't actually remember doing much about it or just getting into the actual details of the show. So actually watching it, and I'm not sure if it's accurate in terms of how it's the story is told on television or anything of that sort. But I like the fact that I'm learning more about uShaka Zulu, because I only know just the bits and pieces of as to who he was actually. So it's actually nice to know from the beginning as to what actually happened and how he became the great king that he was eventually.
It would be very interesting. Actually, we should work on that. We should work on trying to get Unamzamo here or get somebody from the production. Yeah, don't worry, I'll make it happen. To kind of tell us, Jorge, I mean, how accurate is it? What is it that they had to kind of like, compromise on in terms of the story to make this show happen? So
I mean, if they did research for like 7 years.
But here's the thing though. Television and film are mediums that require certain congestion of story. Like, I mean, you can never tell somebody's story completely. There are certain elements of the story that you'll have to drop or you'll have to change to be able to fit, the medium that you are using. And that's why I'm always on some. If you're going to criticize a TV show that is not a documentary, then you're forgetting that. Because sometimes when it comes to a TV show, you've got certain amount of episodes that you have to put out. There's so many characters. I'm sure Nandi would have met other people outside of the people that we're seeing her interact with on screen, right? But you can't show all of those people at the same time.
Just the interesting parts, yeah.
That's the interesting part that drive the story forward. I mean, it depends on what story are you trying to tell. So, are you still in? Or are you, in terms of the show, are you tuning in all the way?
Yeah, I'm 100% sold, definitely. I'm going to continue watching. I'm going to remain loyal till the last episode, definitely.
Right.
Because this is awesome. Don't you actually feel like... don't you like the genre that we have in terms of the TV right now?
Look, for me, I'm excited. Even before the show came out, I said that I wanted this show to work. I wanted it to work because if it works, then it's going to open doors for many others, to be able to come onto the platform or come onto the scene and create stories that are not... Let me put it this way. A lot of producers and directors right now that are trying to create stories by opening their own production company, whatever, and pitching, are limited to what the industry requires right now, which is a telenovela. If you've got a production company, for you to sustain your business, you have to do a telenovela because otherwise then you're not going to be able to get, your shows commissioned or, licensed. So this for me, it kind of like opens up the scope of broadcasters maybe seeing, there are so many other stories that we can tell out there that have nothing to do with taxis, that have nothing to do with violence, that have nothing to do with, your regular thing that they think that the audience wants, So I feel like this is opening doors for producers, writers, and whoever out there wants to tell a story and put it on television. And because we've seen that it works, even money, because the thing that people forget is that not a lot of money is put behind the shows that you see on television. Because for the longest time, especially with Black-owned production companies, the industry does not trust us, sometimes for a reason. There are certain producers out there who get budget and they misuse the budget. They don't pay creatives and all of that stuff, right? So this for me is a good thing. It needed to work so that we can open up the industry, and have more shows like it happen. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited to see what next, will MultiChoice or Netflix or all these other platforms put out, whatever. I heard that Prime Video, the Amazon platform, is looking to put out like local content. I hope that they're not just going to be just buying this. They're going to actually create because they worked with the Nigerians to do Gangs of Lagos.
Is it like a partnership between ETV and Amazon? Because I keep on seeing ETV
possibly
shows on Amazon.
Yeah, possibly. But ETV has its own streaming EVOD, so I don't think it's an exclusive contract. Maybe it's because sometimes the things that you see on ETV were licensed to ETV were not really owned by ETV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you find that when they are done there, then they can be somewhere else.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
All right, cool. And that's it for uShaka and iLembe. Okay, cool.
So tell me right now, what have you been watching? I see there's a lot of reality shows. Are you watching any of those?
Funny enough, I haven't really been watching a lot of local stuff except outside of Rosemary's Hitlist everywhere because everybody's watching that.
Yeah,
amazing. But I'm watching things on other platforms. I know BritBox is not that big in South Africa, but there's BritBox. There's a show on BritBox called The Outlaws. And it's an amazing show. Like they've got one season. I think season 2 is coming in July. It's an amazing show. It's about these inmates who, like in America and in Britain, you get given community service. Like instead of going to jail, you get community service. So it's a group of people that are put together because they were arrested and now given community service. And I don't want to give too much away, but what happens is that somebody finds something, hides it where they were working, and then the other people find it, and it causes a lot of chaos and whatever. Well, of course it's money. What else could it be? But what's beautiful about it, like it's different characters. So it's different. There's a black guy. There's an old guy who is jaded. There's a prima donna girl. So different characters and how they interact with the situations that are coming up through their connections and their connection to the situation that's happening on there. So I'm loving them.
Me Prison Break vibes.
No. It's not Prison Break vibes. It's more. I don't know what to compare it to. Like it's more character driven than drama. It's not drama or action or anything like that. It's more character driven. It's one of those, you'll cry a little bit because of certain people's relationships and all of that, right? And but this one, I don't know where is it, but I watched it on a flight. It's called Funny Woman. It's a British series. It's amazing. I don't know what streaming service is it on, but I watched it on a flight recently and I finished the whole 6 episodes actually.
Wow.
So it's very great. I think about 40 minutes. Or something like that.
Not bad. Yeah, but I was actually finished.
Yeah, listen, I was on a plane for 26 hours. So I got to watch that. So I know you're also watching Rosemary's Hitlist, so I'm not gonna talk too much about it. I want you to talk about it, then we can talk about it together, right? I'm assuming that's what you're watching.
Yeah. So with Rosemary's Hitlist is actually I'm not a big fan of documentaries where there's like people just telling me the side of the story or just trying to explain a piece of the story. But Rosemary's Hitlist was well shot.
Yeah.
They did a good job with the documentary because I tried watching The Devil's Dog. I think I watched like.
It was too confusing, eh? There was a lot happening with that.
I didn't finish it. That's the thing. But this one, I was really happy with the story. And the thing is, I was actually following the story even before the documentary. Yeah. So it actually made much more sense for me to actually watch it and just know about Rosemary. If you thought that Rosemary was scary, wait until you watch the documentary. Then you become even more scared about the things that she did.
Like, as I'm watching, I'm discovering new things, bro. Like, I mean, like Makanya, the baby, the child. I'm like...
I thought that her child was still alive.
Sure. Yeah. Anyway, and the other thing, I saw you tweeting about, and I saw other people tweeting there because they didn't understand why Gogo Dineo is on the documentary, like the docu-series. Yeah. I will differ on that. I actually feel like, because I consume a lot of true crime stuff. I'm on YouTube all the time, so I watch a lot of true crime on YouTube. I feel like Gogo Dineo being on the show Africanizes the docu-series. It makes it you get what I'm saying? It makes it South African. I feel like she brings a South African connection to what's happening, because we as Black people, as Black South African, cannot divorce ourselves from certain elements. I mean, there's Muti, there are people going to, like, the guy in the last episode is saying that the Inkabi were saying they can't sleep because of, that's something that you're not going to get in a documentary done in America. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like Gogo Dineo bringing those elements educate about certain things come with the fact that as Black people have got traumas, our ancestral connections. I loved that. You didn't like it?
Nah, I still feel like she wasn't really supposed to be part of the show. Yeah. But I understand she got her bag.
Ah,
She got
man,
her bag, so let her just
aye,
get it. But you know, the part that broke me, regardless of what Rosemary did to everyone else,
Yeah.
the fact that she was so heartless to a point. I'm not sure if you noticed her sister's living conditions. Like
I
that was sad. That
know.
was sad. I
know.
thought maybe if she was doing all of this, she was actually helping her family in a way
But
financially.
even the one that died, even the one that she killed, the one that she poisoned,
That
was
was
poor as well.
That's sad. Did you see the
What is
house
that?
also?
Yeah. Oh,
Damn,
man.
that was actually sad. You know what? That was a brilliant documentary, but it's really sad. I'm sure there's a lot of Rosemaries out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're not gonna trust our black auntie or aunt anymore when they ask for our ID numbers and stuff like that. But that was really a brilliant documentary. I'm not sure if episode 3 was the last. Yeah.
It felt like the last, but I think it's not. I think they might have. I think they've got 4.
Okay, if there's a fourth one,
but it did feel like the last. Yeah, but you know what? To wrap on that, I just like the fact that the sister who's alive now still calls her Rosemary.
The respect.
Yo, this woman tried to kill you and your kids, and you still have that respect for her.
And the
whatever.
family actually turned their back on her because of she got her sister arrested.
Oh, like that touched me. Every time she's saying, "Oh, sis Rosemary," I'm like,
Sister
yo,
Mary, yeah.
snap out of it. Anything else?
Mummy Club. Have you watched it?
Yes, I did watch it. I was at the launch. I watched it at the launch. I haven't watched it on my own. Are you asking me what I think about it, or you just asking me that?
What do you think? Okay,
it's better than what we look. It's better than the Real Housewives of Joburg.
I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, but it's not in terms of content. From what I saw, in terms of content, it's not as exciting as Real Housewives of Durban. But it's close.
Can we compare it to Real Housewives of Durban? Because this is a different format. All of them are reality show, but this is
it's a different format. But at the end of the day, it's reality TV about women and their lives. You know what I'm saying? So there's no, because if you look at how they're trying to make these women interact, you see how they're trying to create, friction so that there's drama. Because believe me, if we're all watching women just taking their kids and talking about their nannies, taking their kids to play dates and whatever, it's gonna be boring.
True.
So yes, you have to compare it to the Housewives.
I didn't want to, but
yeah, look, it's shot better. It's glossier. There's real money. Did you see those houses?
Mops, she's taking over the show.
There's real money, and but I enjoyed it. I'm definitely in. I don't know if I'll be in all the way, but I'm in. I'm ready for.
I hope there's a reunion for this one also. Yeah, because it seems like there's a lot of things they're gonna unpack on this season.
Yeah. Look, I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, you want to talk about Nikki, or should we save it for next week? Because I have a lot to say about that show.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, actually.
Okay, actually, you know what? Let's save it for a review. Let's do it for a review for the next episode, ne?
Yeah, there's plenty of content to talk about anyway.
Sure. You happy?
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy, yeah.
I'm very happy. So, we're doing this, eh? Yay. So, guys, this is us. This is what we're trying to do. We're testing things out. Some things are going to work. Some things are not going to work. Yeah. So, as time goes by, what we keep and what we don't keep. But I'm happy, and if they are happy, then we're gonna keep going. But here's the thing, I don't know about you. My philosophy with my career and my entire life in this industry, I've always said, Kore, I don't chase numbers. I chase credibility. And what I want to create about this platform, I want to create a platform where we create a credible platform where anybody who's a creative in this business wants to come and talk about their work, wants to come and push their work, wants to come and educate the masses about their work, can come and just,
I hope we'll be the first one to break news of incredible stuff. I hope so. Exclusive.
Well, we might not be able to break them because we have to shoot, right? But what we can do is that we can give more context to them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we'll do what in journalism is called second day reporting. Where basically, I'm not going to stop breaking news on Twitter. That's fast. But if I put it out there, we can come here and actually give more context and give more details to it. And then I can call people and, they can tell us what's really happening and all of that. Because I think it would be interesting if we say, Uban is getting more flavor is getting fired from 94.7. It would be nice to come. No, I'm just saying, it would be nice to come here and actually have more context to that and say, hey, we actually spoke to Prime Media and they say he got fired because ABCDE.
This and that and that,
we saw the press release. I spoke to Ubanbane, and you know what I'm saying? I think that would be much more interesting than just trying to break the news, because it's gonna be very hard. You can't break anything right now when you're recording, because everybody's on Twitter. Things happen within 10 minutes. The story is.
I mean, there's breaking news even before the actual news channel.
So let's not put ourselves under too much pressure. Let's just say, this is a platform where you're gonna come to get more information. That's why it's a commentary podcast.
Yeah.
Just coin the term. We're doing a commentary. So we're gonna call it the entertainment-led commentary podcast. That is that, guys. You know. Yeah, well, I'm good. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Ciao, ciao.